We slid into his DMs, and we're so glad he responded. We're talking with Willie Sloan about his hiking experiences all across the Great Falls area, coming up on this episode of We're No Damn Experts.
Best damn podcast, the best damn town. You want to get up, get ready to get down. With its big wide sky and the wild river Thames, if you want to go, we can take you there to Great Falls, Montana.
Welcome to the greatest damn town in Montana, Great Falls. I'm Rebecca Ingham.
I'm Shannon Newth.
And
we're No Damn Experts.
Today, in the podcast studio, probably we've never done anything quite like this before. We found someone online who took amazing photos and is out experiencing things within our community all the time. And we reached out to him and said, hey, will you come talk with us?
We dropped into his DMs. It's kind of like a blind date.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we like what you're putting out there.
So we know nothing about this guy other than where he goes sometimes on the weekends and in the evenings.
And that he's employed here in Great Falls.
Yes.
Yeah.
So welcome to the podcast studio, Willie, who's a hiker.
Yes. Hi, Willie. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Are you scared to death of being here, not knowing why on earth someone would just slip into your DMs and go, hey, do you want to be recorded on a conversation?
No, actually, I was more flattered than anything.
Oh, good.
When I first got a message, I kind of went around to a couple people I worked with, and I was like, this seems scammy to you?
That's fair.
Then they recognized Shannon's name. I was like, oh, so that is a real person.
So here's the thing, too, because, okay, we have our Visit Great Falls, Montana. This all happened on Facebook. We have our Visit Great Falls, Montana Facebook page. And then I have two different accounts, a personal one and a professional one. It only lets you message people from your personal account. So, like, I tried on, like, the two, like, official pages. And so I was just hoping that you would actually see it because we weren't like Facebook friends. It was from my personal account. And I was like, this probably seems scammy because it's not from any professional account.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be a little weird.
So I was really glad that you saw it and responded.
But so folks listening, the reason we did this weirdness with Willie is because I have an infatuation with an area of this base camp that I have never been, but I have always been in love with photos people take from their hikes on Mount Wright.
I had not heard of Mount Wright, which I'm ashamed to say.
So Katie Katinsky took Girls in Glacier up there years ago, and she sent in some photos that I'm like, gosh, I want to be there.
Yeah.
I want to see. Well, I've not done it yet. I mean, talk about the number of hikes I've not done.
Yeah, that's a long list for me too. Yeah.
But Willie's out and he's hiking and sharing all these amazing photos, and I'm just, scrolling the world, falling in love with Willie's adventures.
Yeah.
And I was like, Shannon, let's get him on because I'd love for him to talk about not just Mount Wright, but the hikes that he goes on and kind of give people an insight into the beauty of the area and if they're easy, if they're hard, if it's difficult to do things. So, Willie.
Well, put me on the spot.
Take it away.
Just the one. Let's start with the first question. How many times have you hiked Mount Wright?
That was the first time that I posted those pictures.
Okay.
So just recently, in the last couple of years, I've made a really conscious effort every weekend to really get out and enjoy the things I enjoy. And I turned it. It first was Kotinsky. He wrote an excellent book about hiking the Rocky Mountain front. So a lot of the hikes that he mentioned, I went on. And then I started going on a lot of hikes by myself and then maybe, try to test myself a little bit more and actually really surprise myself what's possible. It's 50 feet at a time sometimes.
Hey, but it's at least 50 feet at a time.
And it gets kind of almost addicting wanting to see a view from on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
It's incredible to be able to, be able to name 10 peaks
right,
from one mountain top. So the day I went and hiked Mount Wright, I went and helped my employer, my boss, actually my supervisor. He sets up a booth down at the farmer's market. So I went down and I helped him on Saturday set up. And then I said, well, I'm going to go out there. I got nothing else to do, nothing to hold me back. And went out there and didn't really have a whole lot of experience up there. It was the first time I got down into that base camp Teton there. But just found the trail on my app and started hiking.
So was the
That's very
trailhead
brave.
hard to find?
No. I use an app called All Trails.
Okay.
And it's extremely good. There's other apps too. Onyx is really good. And it's incredible, the level of confidence you can have in going to explore these places,
With
having
those
this
sources.
Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not the best map reader. I can
Me
follow
either.
simple instructions, but,
Yeah.
some stuff. But most of the stuff that I have been on personally have been well-marked, groomed trails.
So no real fear other than elevation and being in the wilderness.
Yeah. You
Those
got
are
to
big
be
ones.
you got to be bear aware all the time,
Yeah.
especially on the Rocky Mountain front.
Yes.
I've never ran into a bear up there. I have seen lots of bears in my lifetime around that area, but I haven't seen any. But it's a matter of time.
So
Yeah.
how far of a drive is it from Great Falls
Yeah,
to the
where-
trailhead?
Where is
Maybe
it?
people have no idea. Yeah, let's
I
start
don't
there.
know. Where is
So
it?
Where
if
where
you know where
is
the
it?
the ski hill is outside of Shoto and the Teton.
Okay,
Yes,
Teton
Teton Pass.
Pass.
So you go right past Teton Pass, and it's about
Okay.
another 20 miles.
Okay. Gotcha.
Jeez.
So we're what, hour
Maybe-
and a half outside of
Maybe
Great Falls?
15 miles.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's still you're back in the mountains a ways.
Yeah, it's one of the farthest roads back into the, bottom arms of the mountain,
Yeah.
that
Okay,
wilderness area.
so I've gone. No one else is going to know this, but I've gone into past Teton Pass, down into that campground area. Are you going?
That's where
it's
the
at?
trailhead's at.
Okay,
You've been so close.
I was there.
You
Yeah,
were at the trailhead.
okay.
I was at the beginning, and I turned around and quit. I guess.
Did you drive all the way there to go hiking and then we were like,
No, we
Oh.
went just exploring because we.
is that the day you dressed cute and went to lunch
No,
there?
that was snow day.
It's
Oh,
an
okay.
incredible drive back there. That's the first time I've been there. And when you come over the hill and see that campground down there, it's
You're like a whole nother world.
Yeah, it's big country.
Really? Okay.
Well, sometimes we go out just to do, I'm going to call it reconnaissance, just to see, to gain a comfort level of where the road goes and what is there.
That's a
But
very Montanan thing.
Yeah.
just going to head out and see where it's
the
at.
sun- Sunday
drive
drive.
drive
Yeah.
to the end
Yeah.
of it.
So that's what we did, and that's where the trailhead is.
Yep.
Okay, people. So you're going to go towards Shoto, which is not that far of a drive. We've had conversations on this podcast in the past about the Our Lake hike.
Yes. That one's on my list.
Similar area.
Okay.
I would almost say the same road.
It is the same
Yep.
road. You either just don't, you take a left when you get up there instead of taking a right to go to the ski hill.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
So then you go past Teton Pass ski area, and then you're gonna be in the mountains, and then there's gonna come a transition time in the mountains where it goes from trees to like a desolate.
There was a large fire there
Yeah.
years ago.
Oh,
It's a completely different landscape. It's like you
Huh.
entered another planet.
interesting.
Yeah, it is odd.
I'm
So you're
fascinated by
It
this
is,
now.
then when you get there, you're like, okay, now I know what they're talking
Okay.
about. So you go down into this campground, which is like in a crater, like consider it a moon,
Weird.
and you go down into this campground area.
It sounds intriguing to me. Just to understand what you guys are referencing.
I can
wanna go see it.
imagine. I can imagine that place used to be real gorgeous with all those trees.
That was one of the parts that I did not mind hiking up there by myself so much about bears and stuff because everything's clear. You're not hiking
okay.
through thick brush and stuff, and which you do what you have to do, but it's when you're by yourself, it's a little bit better
You
feeling.
can
when
you can see a little more what's happening around
Yeah.
you.
Not that it's
Yeah.
going to make a difference in the outcomes, but there's just a
You have
piece
a
of
little more
mind.
heads
now
up.
I know. Now I know what's coming after me.
Yeah.
There is something about the Mount Wright Trail too, is that you can start on a trail at the very bottom there where we're talking at the campground, but you can follow a trail all the way to the top. And there's a repeater station up on top, so I mean, there's a well-marked trail to the top. And if anybody wants to take a look up a mountaintop somewhere, it's not an incredibly hard hike. It's strenuous, but I mean, there's a trail. You don't have to walk through scree and hard gravel, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's very doable.
How many miles
Yeah.
is the trail?
To the top. Yeah, one way.
I think back to the vehicle, I think it was about 12 miles. If I
Oh,
recall.
There and back.
Mm.
Okay. So
Willie, that's a big hike that you did after the farmer's market.
Yeah, but I just go down there and set stuff up.
he's like, nah. No.
Here you go. Willie's weekend itinerary
Yeah.
starts Saturday morning.
Farmers
Go to the
market.
farmer's market. Drive out to the Rocky Mountain front. Do
Yeah.
a 12-mile hike. Come back into town.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you do then?
Yeah, the rest
go
of
to
the
the
day.
museums.
Yeah.
Go for a bike ride.
Sunday,
Dinner.
I don't do much.
That seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
You know, Sunday's chore day usually.
Yeah.
You know, trying to spend some time with people and stuff and whatnot.
Yeah. Nice.
I got an idea one time, not to change the subject or anything.
Hey, go
but
for it.
I was like, I want to see all 4 or 5 dams on one trip.
Yeah.
So I started walking from.
Oh, by foot. Okay.
Yeah. I started walking from the caboose, and I got all the way down past Ryan Dam, and
Oh my gosh.
I figured out that you can't walk all the way to Maroney.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
But by the time I got back to the caboose, I think it was like 22 miles. I'm like, oh my lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was, 5 dams. I was like, yeah, we tell people that you're talking about walking. That's a much different feat. Yes.
You technically could have gone and saw Maroney. You just have to make your own path.
Yeah, I think it's private property.
Well, that
past-
and, trespass. Just
Yeah.
some minor issues there.
Snakes. No big deal. So is that, I
You
mean,
just walk all the
22
time.
miles. No big deal.
Do you have a car?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Did you walk here?
No. I don't walk unless it's not a pretty view off the top of it.
Yeah, if there's not a payoff at the end of it, I'm
Yeah,
not just
not
going to
doing
walk
it. Yeah.
the walk.
How long did it take you to do Mount Wright?
You know, I don't really remember. I mean, I average.
I had no idea it was
Right.
coming on a podcast
I
to talk
average
about
like
that.
2 miles an hour.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, and that's the whole trip averages out. And you know, I'm sure it's a lot
Sick.
less when you're uphill. You know.
Yeah.
But
Gotcha.
I'm in no hurry.
Yeah.
I'm no ultimate marathon runner.
You're not trying to, like,
no.
just
I mean,
make
it's
it.
it's
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff do you put in your pack when you go on a 6-mile hike by yourself? Because, one of the things we talk about often is the wilderness can kill you.
Yeah.
So be prepared. Layer like an onion. Bring extra food.
First aid kit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably don't bring as much as people would like me to. No, I
So
bring a
don't
first
listen.
aid kit. Some little bit of dry clothes, lots of water. I got a water purifier.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you got the essentials.
The
Yeah.
essentials, I mean, I probably should carry a micro GPS unit or something, but I don't.
Yeah.
They ain't giving those away. So
No.
Well, if you'd
If
like to
anyone's
donate.
listening, yeah.
I generally leave a note on my car that says where I'm at when I left.
That's a good idea. That's
Yeah,
actually a really good
That's a
idea.
really solid plan.
See? Okay.
Montana, when somebody sees somebody's vehicle parked just somewhere, for an odd amount of time,
Yeah.
Well, I wonder what happened to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll start doing that.
I'll be long gone by they find it, but
Yeah, it's
But they know what happened.
yeah, because I think there's always that moment as a Montanan where you're like, well, we'll give him another day.
yeah.
oh, you always get another day.
We'll give him one more day
So
before we
maybe
start to
include
worry.
in your note, don't give me a day. If I'm not back, I'm lost. Come get me. Yeah.
Give me
Be specific.
Giving me another day is going to mean I'm not coming back for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
There's guys that go out there, and they spend a week, up in the mountains and stuff, and they're incredible. Like I'm a day guy, or I'd like to be able to get into 2 or 3 days at a time, but I don't even have that much time,
Yeah.
available to myself. So,
Right.
I mean, the stuff I do is like it's really
Just a day.
pretty easy, available to anybody, documented trails and people, I usually always run into somebody. I went up to Crown Mountain this last week and I didn't run into nobody there.
Where is that one?
It's outside on the way to Benchmark outside of Augusta.
Okay.
Okay.
And then like the last 700 feet of that was no trail. And
Ah.
it was,
Oh.
it was strenuous. And when
Like
I got
rock
to the,
climbing strenuous?
well, a lot of really soft shale and stuff. And,
Ah.
for every 2 steps you take, you lost
Yeah.
one. And
Yeah.
when I got up to the top of it, it was, I don't even know what the cliff is, 1,000 feet. And like, I couldn't even, it's like, whoa. Like, I couldn't even sit there and enjoy the view. I had to put
'Cause
my
you're just
back
like,
to
no,
it.
no, yeah.
Yeah. It made me really uncomfortable. So
Yeah.
like,
700 feet. Did you think this is good? It was fun. I got some exercise.
Didn't really get to sit and enjoy it very much. Yeah.
I mean, you can pretty much see Augusta from out there, and
Oh wow,
yeah,
Nice.
it's pretty incredible.
So you like doing these hikes and things by yourself? Obviously, get
I
some.
don't mind doing them by
Okay.
myself.
Would you prefer to have company? Someone to, I don't know, push down so that the bear can eat them while you run away?
No, because usually the company I prefer to have would be my girlfriend. And
Okay. You're probably not going to
Don't
push
wanna
her
push her.
down.
I'm
That's
not going to
good.
say that
Hey,
out
that
here.
is good. Something on record here.
I don't know. I mean, there's only a couple of people I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff with. I got
Yeah.
a good friend, old friend that kind of shares the same lifestyle as me. I enjoy doing it with. And then like my girlfriend, she's, really down to do the exact same things. We enjoy doing the same things. And when we get the chance, the same time off, of course,
Right.
we love to spend that time together. But I like to do things in my own pace. I don't try to overdo it. Like I'm almost 50 years old. I'm not in the best shape in the world, like.
Well, you did just go and hike 12 miles with no problem.
Yeah,
so.
but I mean, I ate fast food for the whole week before that.
Well, you got to build
That's
up,
called lucky metabolism right there. Yeah.
build up your calorie intake.
That does bring up a good point, though. Sometimes you want to like know the company you're with on those trips,
Oh, yeah.
because if you're with the wrong person, it's just going to make it
Yeah,
miserable.
but I don't want to. I don't want to take responsibility. Taking
Yeah.
somebody with me that I don't know what their limitations are.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good idea.
And I know there's sometimes I put myself in situations like after going up the Crown Mountain, I was like, well, should I have really done that by myself?
Yeah.
Hindsight's 20.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was
You
like,
made it.
I made it.
Yeah. You made it back.
But I
Are
don't
there any water crossings of any kind on the Mount Wright or the Crown Mountain Trail that
When
you
I went
remember?
up to Mount Wright, it was still springtime, so there was still runoff and stuff. But
Okay.
there was a few creeks, but
Nothing major.
no.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of them, you run into creeks. A lot of them, they'll follow. The trail will start, up a drainage of some sort, and then you'll be
Yeah.
by water until you get above a tree line. Then
You're
it's
done.
more alpine stuff, and you're away from the water from then on out.
Yeah.
We do have a picture from Mount Wright on our Instagram page, and if you're skilly enough, you could probably screenshot it and email it to information@visitgreatfalls.org, and you tell us if you can find it, and then we'll give you a prize. How about that?
I don't even know. This was before my time that
It
it was
Mm-hmm.
posted, so I don't even know.
I don't know. I just love every image from it because it's just this rocky top, and it's like you are on the top of the mountain. Right
That's
across
that.
the top. So it's a really pretty images. Your photos are amazing. Do you practice taking good photos?
No, I know. I know what a good view is.
There you go.
That's
It's half the
picture-worthy.
battle. Yeah.
I mean, I have some pictures, like from, we also did Patrol Mountain a couple weeks ago, and there are good views up there too. Like,
Where's Patrol
Where's
Mountain?
that? Yeah.
it's past Crown Mountain up going towards the end of Benchmark.
Okay.
It's a fire tower up there.
Oh,
and there's a
okay.
gal who mans it up there. She's been doing it for, I think, 26 years. And
Oh, my
wow.
gosh.
you get up there and then you at least get to have a good conversation and pet her dog. And
That I would hike for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hike for visiting with a dog
Yep.
every day.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Absolutely.
just jealous of her, like, oh man, you get to sit
This
up
is
there.
your
Yeah.
life.
This is your life.
And
Yeah.
then she says, well, I got to walk up and down that mountain. I was like,
Yeah, that's
Well-
true. Anytime you need something, you got to go up and down. Yeah. That is a hike.
But-
Literally.
Willie, let's dig into your personal life a little bit. Are you a Great Falls guy? How long have you been here?
Well, I was born here in Great Falls. My family's been here for years. Generations of my family worked for, Arco, Anaconda Copper
Oh,
Company,
okay.
all the
Yeah.
way back to the Boston smelting plant.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
they-
some deep roots.
yeah.
It worked here. And then we moved out in Cascade Canyon area when I was a kid, and I grew up in Hardy Creek Canyon for when I was
Oh.
a child.
Yeah.
But we've always lived out there in Cascade. So that's really what I got, like in the outdoors and stuff, and got comfortable with it and whatnot. But, after living there, I lived in Alaska for a while, and kind of followed around. And I was a professional chef for years, and
Wow.
I'd just travel around and fish and cook and that kind of
That
stuff.
sounds awful.
Yeah. Poor guy.
Yeah, until you find out you're all of a sudden you're like 40-some years old, and you're like, well,
Maybe this isn't the
I want
path.
to do
No.
something else. Yeah.
So you're a chef. former chef?
Well, I mean, you're always gonna.
Guess you
know
have
how
the
to
You're
do
always-
it.
You
skills.
always have that
Yeah.
skill set.
I had quit cooking years ago. I quit cooking for a reason. In my life. I used to drink a lot.
Sure.
I
Yeah.
used
Okay.
to party a lot. And
Yeah.
I just needed to get out of a business that wasn't a good environment to
Well, yeah.
the goals I wanted at that time.
That makes sense.
So as a change of life,
Yeah.
I left that part behind and
Started something different.
yeah. Well, good for you
I'll
for
never-
taking that step.
Yeah, I'll never leave that stuff behind. I mean, I really got to go to some really neat places and stuff, just because I knew how to cook. But
Yeah.
it came at a price for me personally. And
Yeah. So every now and again, does your girlfriend get the special treat of a Willie Chef dinner, Chef Willie dinner?
probably not as much as she'd like, but yes, every once in a while, she said, I wish you'd make me mad more often so I'd get food.
Wow. Okay. So it's like a
So there's a
makeup
fun
meal.
little
Yeah.
glimpse. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you like to make for her? What is your favorite thing to make?
Well, I mean,
Do you actually enjoy it still, or
I enjoy it.
Okay.
It's hard to do it at home when you've done it in a restaurant your whole life. So
Yeah.
you have
Different
a
setups.
vast,
Yeah.
tools and
Resources,
stuff and
yeah.
resources. If I go out and go shopping to cook a meal, it's like I could have got this cheaper if I went out to eat.
Right.
That's true. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have anything in particular. I just enjoy cooking.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a cool part of the world where you
Yeah.
just cook and fish and
Yeah.
hike. Did
Yeah.
you hike a lot then?
No, I
No,
didn't hike
This
a
is
lot
a newer
then.
thing, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I was
Yeah.
preoccupied at
Yeah.
times
Yeah.
too, and
So Willie, how many hikes do you go on in like a year? Or is it like every weekend you plan to do a
I
hike?
try to.
Yeah.
Is that year round or?
If
Yeah,
I
do you
don't do,
winter
I don't
hike?
do a lot of snowshoeing and stuff.
Okay.
So I don't, not yet. So I don't do a lot of it then. But
Do you go skiing or no? Okay.
I
Just
don't eat nice fish out much.
yeah. I'm gonna sit at home and
I
be
don't
warm.
know. I hike like in Great Falls and around here a lot in the winter time because usually if it's snowing, it's all blowing all away anyway. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
and
true.
I don't mind the cold.
Yeah.
And you don't see snakes, and you
This is true.
so you can
yes.
hike down to Box Elder Creek Trail or all over the Pishkin. Just all the areas you can't where you don't
Yes.
want to in this weather.
Yeah.
Have you gone out at First People's Buffalo Jump to see the pictographs and things like that in the winter? Did you know they're out there?
No, I've never seen.
So
them
this
out
is
there.
one I want to do in the winter. Again, snakes, and they only do a few guided trips.
Yep.
They'll do some guided ones out there, but yeah, there's like pictographs out there, away from the normal like visitor center area. But so you can add that one to your winter list.
I remember going up there a lot when I was younger.
Yeah.
I mean, you just go up there and hike all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got a open house happening on this Saturday, no, the 12th. They're doing some big plans on it.
Yep, that's
First
right.
People's Buffalo Jump,
Yeah.
enhancing the visitor experience. So I'm excited to see kind of what their ideas are there.
Yeah.
Just as a side note,
Yeah.
it has nothing to do
They have
with.
a lot of events in
Yeah.
August out there. Yeah.
Oh. So Willie, what is one of your Mount Wright? I like because I like the photos that come from there, and I will one day get on top of it. But what is some of your top 3 hikes that you've done so far?
Ooh.
I mean, all the ones around Rocky Mountain Front are all just so beautiful. It's hard to pick out.
Yeah.
I like the ones that'll give above the tree line, so you can really see. I mean, Willow Creek Falls is really neat. If you never do much hiking or anything, I mean, to get out there and look at it gives you a taste of what it's about. And if you get up there in spring when the falls are really falling,
Okay.
I mean, it's really neat.
Tell us where
Tell
Willow
us
Creek
that.
Falls.
Yeah, that one
So
sounds intriguing.
if you're driving towards Benchmark from Augusta, instead of taking a left up Benchmark, you take a right, like going to Beaver Willow Road over to that
Okay.
road will take you over to Gibson Reservoir.
Yep.
You get to a place called Scoutana, and you turn off there, and the trail heads just right up that road. And it's not a long trail or anything. And I mean, if anybody just wants to get out and see it, what the front's all about,
Yeah.
it's really pretty.
Okay.
Easy.
Yeah.
You don't
is.
gasp for air all the time.
I mean, there's some hill to it, but I mean, it's nothing like Mount Wright or Crown or, Patrol Mountain. But.
Okay.
And then Mount Wright was, it's probably going to be one of my favorites for a while just because it was just so beautiful up on top. And it was really actually moving, to be able to look 360 degrees and, like you're above everything. There's not
Nothing.
like you're next to something the same size like you are.
You're on
That's
top
neat.
of a mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's neat.
I mean, it's like, I think it's 600 feet or 400 feet higher than like Crown Mountain. And just that extra 400 feet or whatever it is like makes a big difference when you're looking over mountains and stuff. So,
That's neat.
and then our lake's really cool. Headquarters Pass, which is the same trailhead as our lake. You just
Okay.
I mean, that's really neat too. It's just the Rocky Mountain front, like you can, Devil's Glen, it's really cool. I mean, it can be 10 miles apart, trailheads, and it's just like so, it's different, but kind of the same in a way, but everything's so unique. It's just
Completely. Yeah, you get this whole different feel. Like
Yeah,
you're in a whole
exactly.
different part of the.
I mean, a lot of the
mountain.
places, the ford's even different, and you know, like geology, some of it. I mean, overall, you know, the Rocky Mountain front's the same, but I mean, there's little nooks in there that are, it's just different. It makes it unique.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diverse within an hour to 2 hours outside of Great Falls. I mean, there's really diverse
There is,
hiking.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
all like in the high woods. The high woods are great in the springtime. It's probably
Yeah.
one of the most beautiful places. You never see anything greener in your life. You know, like
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So this weekend, just as a side note, Highwood Mountains, my husband says to me, there's this place in the Highwood Mountains that I used to go to that has a lake. I wonder if we should try to find it. And I looked at him, I'm like, is that all you have to go on? He goes, yeah. Like, you can't see it from the road, but it's a small
you
little
can't.
lake. And I'm like,
Lost Lake.
no, it wasn't
Oh.
lost. And so I'm like looking at the mountain range and trying to zoom in. I'm like, was it this? He goes, I have no idea. I'm like,
you're like,
so you
"You
just
just-
want to go searching for this random lake
That you can't see from the road.
I can't. When was the last time you were there? He goes, I think only when I was 6. And
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
I'm not doing this with you.
Yeah.
It just
We need
seems
a
like
little
a
more
wild
direction
goose
here.
chase. Like maybe look at some topo maps or talk to some humans that have
Yeah.
been in that area more recently.
Yeah.
Just look over Google Maps for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll
and
find it.
a little lake. Yeah. I do love the Windy Mountain Loop
Yeah, that's
there.
great.
Just, really green, have some water and then some wide open spaces. Yeah. That's
There's
a good
another one
one.
there called Center Ridge Loop that's really
Okay.
neat too, and it's reminds me a lot of the Windy Loop. It's
Yeah.
just a little bit longer, but
Yeah.
and then I think you can start Windy Mountain and then finish this on the Center Ridge.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like 15 miles or so.
Oh.
I mean, it's a pretty long loop, but
I don't think I went that far. It was a long day, but it was not
Not
15
that long.
miles. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what was your first hike? Do you remember it, Willie?
the
Like-
first hike that I took after
Yeah.
was Willow Creek, I think.
Okay.
Either Willow Creek or we hiked up to the headwaters of Gibson Lake. One of the two. I can't remember which one.
Oh, yeah.
You can start right at the dam there, and you can walk all
Yep.
the way up. You know, and when you can take that. That's one of the main trails into the Bob Marshland. You can
Yep.
take. You know, you can go all the way from there to over to Benchmark. I think it's only 20 some miles. It's a 2-day trip. You know, you
Yeah.
can do it one day if you're really hustling, but
Nope.
I wouldn't want to do it. I mean,
No, thanks.
Isn't the point to go and enjoy the scenery, not
So you
be
can
on some
pause,
death
look.
march?
Yeah,
some people go and run the whole thing. So
that's true.
There is that.
A good friend of mine from college, he lives in Washington, but he posts on Instagram. He does these runs, like 50 plus.
ultra marathons?
Yes, but it's not like a specific race. He just goes and does it, and it's over like through all of these mountains. He's running at night, has the headlamp. He has people that meet him along the way to like help him on different legs through the mountains. It's impressive.
I know someone whose husband does that
Yeah.
and will practice. He's a superintendent of schools north of here. And I just look at them because they're both runners,
Yeah.
and I'm not. Like, that's just not something I'm wired to do. I have no desire to just run.
Yeah.
I'll walk all day long.
Sure.
But if I'm running, it's from something scary.
There's a bear.
So you better
Go.
start going too.
I always looked at running as a punishment. You know,
Yeah.
give me 20 laps.
Well,
I'm
it's
like,
used as a punishment. Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
I mean, more to power to the guys that can do that, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not in that kind of shape.
That's not
That's
my
impressive.
style.
It is a very well, and
Well, you're a runner,
yeah,
but not that kind of a runner.
and not an ultra. No,
Yeah.
I've done a couple of half marathons, Spartan things like that, but I haven't done the ultra stuff.
She went to running camp, Willie.
Running camp.
I did twice in high school because I'm that cool. Super cool. Yeah. It was fun. It was, yeah.
It was fun.
It was fun.
You can say it.
Well, yeah, the overall experience. I'm sure
Yeah.
when I was running, I was not thinking it was as fun, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was a good experience. But hiking is a very specific kind of shape. Like you can be in running shape, you can be in regular walking shape, you could be a weightlifter, but like hiking is just a different kind of shape.
Yeah, your lung capacity's got to be
Yeah.
good.
I used to smoke for 20-some years too, and
Yeah.
I just recently quit. And
Ooh.
I notice it. I do notice, like probably why I run out of breath sometimes, but I notice how much better I am now than I was. Like
Building that
it's
capacity.
incredible how much your body can bounce back from things that
Yeah.
you do. And then, like you said, you're about hiking, about being, a different shape and stuff. A lot of it's mental, like when I went up to Crown Mountain the other day, I was like, I'll count off steps if I really get into it. And I'm doing 5 steps and taking 10 breaths, the last 400 feet.
Yeah.
And when I get close to the top, I'm like, all right, well, now I'll just push through, because
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
But
The rewards right
Yeah,
there.
it's
Yeah.
different, it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like, hiking for me too is like small achievements. And like I said, I used to drink and I used to, indulge a lot and stuff. So I got a program of sobriety in my life, and hiking plays a huge part in it. So, when you first get sober, it's the achievements for me that kept me sober. The small goals, were met and stuff. And then after, a few years of being, in a program that, for me, I had to find, I found these things to, get those feelings of achievement,
Yep.
every once in a while getting that dose of achievement. And that's what hiking does for me. Like I get somewhere and I'm like, and then
I
it
did
helps,
that.
when you're on top of a mountain and you can like feel, like things aren't, that bad anywhere.
Yeah.
Like things
Yeah.
are pretty grand. It's
Shifts your perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like kind of grounds you out, and the week of work before, with stress,
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
It's just like life's pretty good.
Yeah.
So do you find yourself like on Wednesday afternoon going, man, I
Really
can't
needing
wait
that
till
hike.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Get to go for a hike after I go to the farmer's market.
The funny thing is like I don't know where I'm going until Saturday morning.
Oh, you really?
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't. I just
Huh.
Wake
I don't
up.
You
make
don't
plans.
have like a list at home of,
I got a mental list, like some places I want to go to and stuff, but it doesn't seem to do any good to make any plans because they're going to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Go with
wake
the
up
flow.
Saturday and you see how good the weather is or
Yeah.
how hot it's supposed to get or,
Yeah.
how much
Have
time
some
I got.
flexibility with that.
How I feel personally. Like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I climbed 3,000 feet today. So,
That's good. Give yourself some wiggle room to. So what's on your list for the rest of the summer? What are possibilities for this weekend?
places you haven't gone yet.
Yeah.
I want to go to the top of Steamboat Mountain. There's a gentleman part of the Great Falls Hiking Facebook group, which is an incredible group.
Yeah.
It is.
I love to see some people's posts because it motivates me. I'm like, oh man,
Yeah.
They did
yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah.
But a gentleman just went to the top of Steamboat Mountain. He had gone to top of Crown Mountain, a couple weeks before, and I told him that was going to be my next one. And then I sent him a picture of it to his post, and then he sent me a picture. This is where I am. It's like top of
Nice.
Steamboat, and I'm like,
Dang it.
But I want to go to top of Steamboat. I want to. There's a place called Rocky Mountain off Headquarters Pass. That's over 9,000 foot. That's
Oh wow.
that'd probably be my limit of what I would want to try. I got a dream of hiking from the Rocky Mountain front to the west side over to Swan Valley,
Oh wow. Neat.
Holland Lake.
Yeah.
it's
It's
doable.
gorgeous over there.
It's like 70 some miles.
It's a long way.
Yeah, but I mean a week.
Right.
There's a large trail system through the whole. I'm gonna just butcher this completely, but there's a effort to make a Montana trail throughout the entire state, which covers. It's like you go through the Rocky Mountains, and
Yeah.
it's like Trail 406, and
Cool.
there are these large endurance trails that connect everything. So you just spend, a year, I guess, hiking the whole thing or whatever the deal is. But There's some people who just get into that and like
Oh yeah.
they're packing 2 pairs of shoes with them. And then when they
Oh.
move into their second pair of shoes, they go out for a while to buy the next pair of
Oh my
shoes.
gosh.
Like this is the level of
Wow.
people that exist in the world.
You know, people hike the Continental Divide Trail, and
Yep.
you know, they start at the beginning of the year, you know, and they have a certain window where they can make it, you know, to the Canadian border. And I hiked on Rogers Pass last year for a little bit, and then I just happened to hit it at the time where I ran into a lot of people that started in New Mexico.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
just like, oh man.
Wow.
It's a different, well, it's a sense of achievement. It's
Yeah.
that accomplishment that like, I'm going to do this.
I
And
don't know where people find this time, you know.
Right.
or-
Right.
Right. That's
I'm just going to take a sabbatical and
Right.
somebody please pay me while I'm
Uh-huh.
gone.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's like,
yeah.
please sponsor me.
Right. Well, people do that. Yeah.
But I mean, more power to them. I mean,
Yeah.
like to be able to have that opportunity personally to go do that stuff, that's incredible. And
Yeah.
I mean, just to think that the things you would see,
Yeah.
you know, that much ground covered, you know, it's incredible.
Yeah, there's so much trail system that you can just be lost in the mountains for as long as you want, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's being so close to the Bob Marshall scapegoat wildernesses and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like everybody, and Glacier's beautiful. I mean, Glacier's where it's at, you know, but the Bob Marshall and the, you know, it's being so close to us and the possibilities, you know, it's just incredible how far
Yeah.
you can go around there and stuff. So,
Well, and the thing with Glacier, yes, it's gorgeous and absolutely wonderful to hike in. A lot of people don't do the hiking. They just do the going to the
Driving.
Sun Road.
Yeah.
But then the other component of that is now that reservation system. Would you agree with me in saying that the Bob is a little Glacier-like? If you can't get into Glacier, at least you can have some of these
yeah, I mean,
similar
Glacier's,
experiences.
I've never gone hiking up in Glacier because I haven't gone through the reservation stuff right now.
Yeah.
You know, like the hiking's, you know, been new to
Well,
me for
because
the
you don't
last
plan.
3 or
Yeah.
4 years. That's true.
Yeah.
And I got to have my girlfriend's daughter figure out anything for me online.
So you got roadblock after
Yeah.
roadblock here.
My mentality is like, well, if I started hiking outside the park into the park,
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. I
didn't know.
I ended up in the park. What do you know? Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just some really, it's wilderness.
Yeah.
And it's not as big as Glacier. You know, it's not, I don't think it's as beautiful as Glacier because Glacier is, you know, pretty unique, but it's a gem for Montana to have it, and especially as close as we are to Great Falls. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not far. To get to the, you know, out there, you're looking in an hour and a half and you're there.
Yeah.
So,
That's
and
the
then you can
case
stop
really
at Big
any
Sky Deli
direction.
and eat on the way.
There you go. You figured out all the good spots on the way
Yeah,
there.
if
Yeah.
they're not open, Augusta, the cafe at the motel there is just awesome.
Nice.
Well, and the nice thing is, you don't have to sleep on the ground. You can come back to a comfortable bed.
That's
you know?
right. You're right here in Great Falls.
And my aunt, avid backpacker for years, but now likes the comfort of a bed and would prefer to do day hikes versus overnight into the mountains.
Yeah.
But there's still that unique opportunity that exists from that standpoint too. But I like a comfy bed.
Yeah.
I'm getting soft in my old age.
Well, it makes you more prepared for the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
restful and tolerable to other people.
Yeah, if you're going to do it with other people at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aside from hiking, what else do you enjoy doing here in Great Falls when you're not out hiking or working?
That's
I
it.
work a lot.
Yeah.
Monday through Fridays work.
Yeah.
I love seeing the shows that come to town. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
We were
Yeah.
talking about how we both went to see Oklahoma,
yeah.
Great Falls Theater Company production. Yeah.
I can't wait for their announcement for the next
I know.
one.
I think they're planning. We had them on the podcast.
Oh, did you?
So 2 of the founders of it. I think they want to do a holiday season one. So sometime soon.
Anything they have like that, you know, it's like me and my girlfriend really enjoyed going to, like at the Mansfield Center.
Yeah.
I really loved the theater at the University of Providence. How comfy those seats were.
Yeah.
How intimate the venue was. I just loved everything about it.
It's a nice venue.
And you guys went the opening weekend.
Yes, Friday
second
night.
night
night.
it was
Yes.
open.
You were there opening night,
I
right?
was.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
There's ain't something about live shows like that, you know, it's just, nothing compares to it. I mean, it's just different atmosphere, and what they do is just incredible live.
Yeah.
You know, like, My mom took me one time to see The Lion King in Spokane.
Okay.
And she's like, "Oh, I got a second row seats and stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, Mom, yay." Like, "Yeah, I'll go with you. You don't have to go alone." But we got there and it started, and I was just like blown away.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I was like, "The music's so good." She's like, "It should be. There's a symphony down there." I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
so ever since then, I just had a really deep appreciation for that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
we went and saw Cats. I was on my way to
Yeah.
work, and I seen a marquee down there by Machinery Row for Cats. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So we go to get tickets, and our tickets aren't very good, on the top and stuff.
Yeah.
And I told my girlfriend, I was like, we'll never sit up here again.
We're getting better seats.
getting better
next time.
seats.
I want to see their costumes.
Right. I want to see the sweat coming off of their face. A friend and I went to the Legally Blonde, the other Broadway and Great Falls performance this year, and that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Willie, you talked maybe on air, but I think it was probably off about expanding your comfort zone, which you're doing with us on this podcast. Do you think you'll ever expand your comfort zone to try out for a play? Do you think you have that skill set in you anywhere?
We're not doing that.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I enjoy getting out of my comfort zone and stuff. Like,
But that's a little...
no,
Yeah.
I'll sing in front of my coworkers and in
Ooh.
the shower, and then that's about as far as it goes.
Yeah.
They know,
But your coworkers get to hear you, huh?
oh, they know I suck.
That's not a big
You're
surprise.
owning that.
I've been
Okay.
singing the beginning of Oklahoma for a week now, and they're just like, okay.
We're done with that.
We know you have it stuck in your head. We get it. Yeah.
But the talent that was on stage was very impressive.
Yeah,
It really was.
That
Yeah.
opening song from the very first song, it was good.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed. Okay, so as a former professional chef, now chef by
Oh.
hobby.
Proxy.
Yes, by proxy. Do you have any favorite, like, go-to restaurants or specific meals that you enjoy here in Great Falls?
That's a tough...
Okay.
That's
And-
always
and
a
you can
tough
say
question
no
for me
chefs.
because I had someone come in and they're like, my husband's a chef.
Yeah.
Where do you recommend we eat? And I'm like,
Oh, I don't know.
I
when it
have
comes to
no
like,
idea
I'll
because
tell you
I
what
think-
I like, but
I think knowing things about how food is prepared versus
Changes.
like a human who just wants to eat some food,
yeah.
completely different perspectives.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I mean, like,
It makes it
So maybe
I
it's not a
can't-
good question to ask you.
it's like I don't want to say anything, like, no, because I mean,
Right.
it's hard to go out and really enjoy eating.
when you've been in
Yeah,
that
when you're-
position.
You can't not,
Yeah.
Think
overthink
about
that.
it. Yeah.
Sure.
yeah.
That makes
I
sense.
mean, Great Falls got
Yeah.
some really great places to eat.
Right.
And, like, I'm old school. Like, I
Yeah.
eat Howard's and Taco Treat.
Yeah.
And I go
Yes.
to Boris and
Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
And actually, where me and my girlfriend go a lot is 3D. It's nostalgic. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
food's always good.
Yeah.
It's just,
Those are the class I like for our listeners. Howard's Pizza and Taco Treat are like the Great Falls
Food.
food. Yes. And sometimes for an outsider, they might not understand.
No,
they would
they
go and be
don't.
like, what? But
Or if you're from the outside and they tell you that you got to go have Howard's Pizza, you're thinking, oh, because it's really good.
no, it's just an
it's Howard.
yeah.
It's like,
When I was
it's
a little
definitely not
kid-
something you're going to experience somewhere
Yeah.
else.
When I was a
Right.
little kid, we lived down on Fifth Avenue North, and then the big deal was we'd go downtown to be able to eat Howard's,
Yeah.
and then go to Baylor's Ice Cream, which was across the street. That stuff is just like your childhood. And
Yeah.
Right. It's the nostalgia aspect. It's the like Great Falls.
like I
thing.
love Burger Bunker's got like
Yeah.
Zandy stuff and Burger Master stuff, and
Well, and these are heritage establishments when we're talking about.
and every time you see one close in Great Falls, it's just like
Yeah,
you get a
because
little
like
sad
you're
about
saying,
it.
Zandy's and stuff. That's
yeah, you don't
sadly
want
no
to see
more.
that stuff because it's
Right.
unique to Great Falls.
Right.
Agreed. How about museums? Do you do any of the museums?
Yeah, I used to volunteer at the Great Falls History Museum.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Quite a bit when like when I was first in my program and stuff, they'd let me do service work there and stuff, and they were really
Good deal.
great.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
I
so many
love history and I enjoy it. Being
Yeah.
close to it down there, which they allowed me to do, was great.
I got a behind the scenes tour of like where they store all the things that aren't on
Upstairs,
display.
The archives. Yeah.
It is crazy the amount of stuff and the randomness of the stuff that's up there.
They would let me do file work and stuff, and they're like,
Ooh.
just do whatever's interesting to you. I'm just like,
Okay.
like I'd go through the Endicott and Copper Company stuff, and like
Yeah.
go through safety inspection to get to see my dad's signature on stuff. My dad died when I was
cool.
like in 3rd grade, but to see his signature,
That's really
Wow.
cool.
and actually my sponsor in AA worked with my father back then, and seeing his
my gosh.
signature, you know, like
Oh,
it's
that's
pretty
so
neat. I
awesome.
mean, there's a little bit of, you know, like
That's really neat.
yeah, it was neat. You know, I mean, it's been a long time to be able to feel a little bit closer to my dad that I,
Yeah.
you know, he
Look
lost
at
a long
there.
time ago.
Right
Yeah.
there.
How cool.
Mm-hmm.
Did your dad grow up in Great Falls?
Yeah.
Did you, because they have old yearbooks, did you go find him in old
Yeah,
yearbooks
I
there
looked
too?
them up,
Yeah.
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 And like I like went down to the library a couple times to the Genealogy Society, and they you know show me some voting records and stuff like that.
Yeah.
and,
That's neat.
and see my mom's signature and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's just neat.
Yeah. That is
And
cool.
the ladies down at the Great Falls History Museum are awesome.
Well, and
sure.
anything you want to research about the area, we
Yeah.
get a lot of writers that come into town and they research all these things for their books, and they're at the History Museum and collecting data and trying to get time period things correct. And I think that's just really
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Such
I
an
mean,
asset.
and they're so you know to give that resource up to people that they you know they really help people out.
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a question going back to hiking.
Mm-hmm.
For people who either come to visit or maybe are here and haven't hiked before but want to venture into that, this is something that, you know, newer-ish for you and you're going out alone and stuff. What would you say to people to help kind of encourage them to just take that literal first step and get out and explore?
And we won't say leap because that's a bad plan.
Yeah, no leaping, just stepping.
Some of the places
Yeah.
you've gone.
By getting that All Trails app for me, it gave me a level of confidence.
Yeah.
You know, like you could see your progress on a trail. You know, even if you're not in, you know, you don't have service, you can still see, you know, a line, you know, that you're on. And
Yeah.
if you're not comfortable with an area and stuff, it gives you a certain, because, you know, as a lot of people are scared, you know, like, so that's, I mean, a big deal.
Yeah.
And then just, you know, sticking to places that are, you know, well documented. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and then like ones, you know, where they have a destination were big for me. Like at first, like Willow Creek, you go to the falls, you come back, you know, like something at the end of the road, you know, instead of just going to stomp around, you know, 15 miles.
Right. Yeah.
Get
the-
your steps in.
Yeah, exactly. And the mental health component, I mean, I think about that even just going for a walk. But I mean, what is that part of the journey for you too? Just even when you're by yourself, like that kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
time to process or try not to think maybe about some things.
Yeah, or just get to think freely.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
or like just,
My mind is usually so preoccupied with
Yeah.
remembering to breathe. Like, okay, deep breath. You're going to get through this.
Yeah.
it's funny when I'm out hiking or something, you know, like I'm a little bit of a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
Like I'll see like a pheasant will fly off or something, and I'll
Yeah.
do
Ah!
a 360 and scream in the air and say a dirty word and stuff. I'm like, God, what would I do if a bear came at me?
The bear would be like, whoa, man.
yeah,
What was that
gonna walk
squeal
away,
about?
yeah.
I mean,
good.
I had a couple instances just like, oh, did I just scream like that?
So that's why you hike by yourself.
You know, if anybody is hiking out of Great Falls, and if they've never been to Sluice Boxes,
Yeah.
Sluice Boxes
Yeah.
it's beautiful area, and that's another area we went to too that really I heard about it a lot and stuff, and I even gone to the lower trail, and then you walk, I'm like, why does everybody think this is so cool? And you
Upper
go
trail?
up, you park at the upper trail, and then you hike up, you know, and it's beautiful.
So I don't think I've shared this on the podcast yet, but my cousin was up visiting from Texas, and I sent him on the upper trail of Sluice Boxes. He had mentioned that he's not really a huge fan of heights.
Oh, the cliff
So you
face.
sent him on an upper trail.
So I was like, he came back, he's like, really interesting trail you sent me on. And I said, it's gorgeous. And he's like, it's a complete drop off on one side. I'm like, it wasn't that far of a drop. And he's like, it's death. It is death if you do it. I'm like, yeah, there is that. But the trees grow up and
It's beautiful.
around.
though.
And
it's one of those things too, when you walk past it, you're like, look back, you're like,
yeah, look what I did. But it is beautiful.
If you follow that trail way, you know, farther up past the tunnel and stuff, you know,
Yep.
you run into all this old mining equipment and ore carts, and I mean, it's pretty. There's
Yeah.
a lot of history back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to my a recon trip to the beginning of sluice boxes, if you will, on Logging Creek Road.
Logging Creek Bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
You can walk from
gorgeous.
their trail from there all the way down.
Yeah, that's where I would start from now on.
Did you drive that road from the bridge to the road by Monarch?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sketchy road.
It is. It's awesome.
It is awesome. When I was driving in, I just went up there like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, well, I hope I don't run into anybody here. I mean, like, I don't know where to turn around. But it is neat. I mean, driving out of there.
Yeah.
There's a campground back. We've gone camping at the Logging Creek campground back there a couple of times, and that's a nice area.
Yeah.
It's really an area to explore that is fun.
And it's close. I mean, you get out there and within an hour. Mm-hmm. It's quite a ways back there.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Good spot.
It's oftentimes when my husband, after 20-some years, he takes me to these places, I'm like, why have you not taken me here sooner? Mm-hmm. And he goes, well, I thought you'd already been. I'm like, how would I have already been? Just questions. So many questions.
I mean, growing up here my whole life in this area and stuff, you know, like, you hear about these places, like, I've never been either. And then they start making a point, you know, at least going there. That same week, we drove that road, you know, from Logging Creek Bridge up to the road to Monarch. We went up to Thane Creek in the high woods, and I always seen the signs that Geyser, you know, 18 miles or whatever. And I was like,
let's do it.
Yeah, so we drove up there, and it was great. Drive through the creek a couple times, you know, it's just fun to know you traverse through there, and you know, you end up all the way over by Geyser.
Mm-hmm. It's just the things you didn't expect to see that all of a sudden you're like, this is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the funnest part of exploring this area. Is there's so much opportunity. Now, gravel roads, so you have to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
But still traversable by most vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much. You can go anywhere in Montana that you could take an interstate or highway to on gravel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, it's incredible, you know, where you can end up, you know, not ever having to drive a pavement.
Mm-hmm. It is. It is epic.
So don't be afraid of that.
Yeah. No, it is just really worth it.
One of the chances you get to see, you know, stuff in, you know, Montana is taking those back roads. And I mean, everybody knows Montana's notorious for its back roads.
You're right.
Know, like, and it's true, you know, like.
Well, there's a whole PBS.
I was just thinking the back roads of Montana. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that is good. Mm-hmm. Well, Willie, I've had a blast visiting with you.
Hopefully this was a good step outside your comfort zone.
It has been. I've enjoyed myself too, and I really
it.
appreciate you guys inviting me to
come.
And thanks for not thinking I was spam or working through the initial thought that I was spam. Yeah.
Or scammy.
Yeah. Should I do this? You think they're going to murder me? Do you think that's the plan?
I was
that's a fake account.
What's the deal here? What do you think?
Seems weird.
And then keep posting photos so that I can drool over where you're headed, and then we can bring you back in when I find another photo where I'm like, let's make Willie talk about that.
You know, another thing I mentioned, if anybody is thinking about hiking in this area and stuff, look on that Great Falls Facebook page. Yeah. The Great Falls Hiking Facebook page, and then you can see what, you know, people are doing around here.
Yeah. I'm a new member, and I'm excited to be because I didn't know it existed before.
It's a great group. And I don't know anybody on it.
Yeah.
I ran into the guy I believe one of the first guys who started it up in Highwood last year, but it's just fun to you know, share interests with somebody.
Yeah. Well, and to see where people are headed and know that if you have questions about that trail or what to expect,
I mean,
there's somebody you can slip into their DMs and ask about if you don't want to do it in a public format. But well, I'm going to wrap it up because that's what I do. Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. If you... I don't know if we've ever shared any of Willie's photos, but if we do...
No, I would love to share some of your photos if you're willing to share them with us. Yeah.
He'll give consent right there on the radio or on the podcast for documentary sakes. And until we see your bright, happy, smiley, healthy face here in Great Falls, we hope you're creating amazing memories with your friends and family wherever you are. We'll see you soon.
We're No Dam Experts is the recorded claims from Great Falls, Montana, covering what you need to know about this amazing damn town.